Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in this episode of World of Tanks. We have a new submission from the War Master 2019 in his IS-3A, a really good premium tank. The War Master, this is his first submission. Seems to be a reroll with about 700 battles, but doing pretty well. I only mention that because I don't know why I mentioned that, but I don't care. I really don't care. If you want to reload, re-roll. Even if you want to reload, go for it. Reload, re-roll, I don't care. I don't believe in gold ammo orthodoxy or the whole your re-roll stat blah blah blah. Don't care. But what we are going to talk about, and what I do care about, is how you play the game. That's the big thing. So we're going to go over here, and we are on Pilsen, spawned into the south, and we've gone into the factories. And we've got a KV-122, trying to bait some shots. I probably would have taken that shot right there. I think you would have pinned that if you'd have hit it. And we get in a good spot here, and we are going to spend essentially the entire game in this same spot. And as I watched this video, it really brought up some great points, I think, that I talk about quite a bit. We're going to have a good game here. We're going to drop $5,000 and a bit of a heartbreaker at the end. We're going to lose this thing. Well, let's talk about that because it is connected with the fact that we're going to sit in this, albeit strong position here with an IS-3 and not do a whole bunch else other than sit here. So the War Master, take all of this as it is meant, constructive criticism, as we talk about it. What I find with players about your skill level, and again, I'm going off of 700 games because if you just re-rolled, either you've picked it up really quickly or you've come from another account. Again, doesn't matter. But your win percentage is doing pretty well at 697 battles or so when I looked at it. We got a KV, or a T-44-100 peeking at us here. And what I find with people at about that skill level is they can be extremely competent in the mechanics of the game as far as poking, trading, things like this right here. When to auto-aim, spots to go to, how to fight that spot, that kind of thing. But what they are often missing out on, I think we got a shot here, there we go, right into it. A nice, perfect 390 roll on the 390 Alpha gun. What they're often missing is reading the battle and understanding when they have to stop doing what they're doing and do something different. Or maybe flex, or maybe push, or maybe consider helping out their teammates. Because dropping $5,000 is fantastic. It really is. Good job. But dropping $5,000 in a loss begs the question, how did I drop $5,000 in a loss? And you've got to start asking that. And if the answer is, well, my team sucked, okay. Maybe, I thought you were going to fire the mod, didn't see that the 4202 was coming. Maybe it was the team and you dropped $5,000 and you actually played really well. But maybe, just maybe, and probably, there's a few other things that maybe could have happened here. And I will say probably, not just maybe, to help your team win. So we're doing all right. We kind of got it even. We're anchoring this little area. We're going to drop a shot on him and bounce off his turret. The KV-122 loses his mind. Take a careful shot. Good job. Goes in there. And we're waiting for the reload. So I will say, as far as your mechanics of when you're popping out and shooting from this spot and considering your reload timing and things like that is pretty good. But let's just pause this game for just a minute here. Let's see what is going on. We got a Tiger 1. We got a T-44-100 to our north. There's a KV-122 exposed. There's a Progetto who's down some hit points sitting over there as well. The WZ and the EBR are fighting a couple singletons over on the east. But most of your power is one spot. And you've been pushed over in this area by some guys that have kind of exposed themselves. Now, you are anchoring this corner, but you don't really look a lot for any of the shots you could get over here. This Tiger is, in fact, just about to be dead. He's definitely a two-shot. I think you can probably high-roll that, maybe even a one-shot. And, of course, you got the T-44-100. But the guys your dudes are fighting right here are all these guys in this general area. So when you get to this point in the game, start asking yourself, all right, where can I apply my power? Where can I apply my power? If I just sit in this corner, I may rack up a 5,000 damage game, but if I apply my power now, go where my team needs me, take out a couple of their tanks, because that's what an autoloader excels at late game, knocking down low hit point tanks in multitudes, then I can start preserving my friends' hit points and my hit points, and now we've got more guns in the game. So after all that yabbity yabba, let's see what you do here. So we hang out, kind of rocking back and forth. Ferdy dies. Ferdy dies because nobody went to help him. The KV-122 takes that guy down. Hotchkiss dies, and now things are turning against us a little bit. We're about to lose over on the east side, and more tanks are going to come in. And then now we start talking about how much time do I have? How much time do I have before this really gets out of hand? And right now it's not much. Right now it's not much. So for me, what I would have done is a while ago, I'd have headed this way. And so what if the T-44 saw me? Might have even got a shot. That's fine. I am now bringing my full hit point IS-3A autoloader over here where it's needed, and I start mowing these guys down. I start mowing these guys down. If these two push, then they have exposed themselves, and I can then turn around and start fighting them. But right now, it's hold down v hold down, and that's not very easy in IS-3A. These guys are more exposed, and we can clean these two up, free up these three guns, and now I'm not being attacked from two different directions, because you're all in a good defensive position, but you're being attacked from two, soon to be, if you lose over here, three directions. And so I've got to break one of those. I have to break one of those. And the easiest one right now is the KV-122 who's nearly dead. The Progetto who's about a 2-shot to me. Maybe 3-shot, plus I've got some friends to help me out. So really make a decision. Either I push into the Tiger 1 and T-44. I don't recommend that because you're going out in the open. They have arty, and then the 122 shoots in the side, blah, blah, blah. These are the guys that are vulnerable to your counterattack right now. And the timing is now. Actually, it was a while ago. I'd have got my gun in the game over there. The T-34-3 helps you out. Now you're auto-aiming. This was a point where I would not have auto-aimed. I would have definitely aimed carefully on that. You get 2 out of 3, not bad. KV-122 dies. Already gets a little splash on you. Who cares? And now we're reloading. The T-34-3 has been a bit silly. And we bounce him again. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I did not see your Pipper right on him. So if you are using one of those mods that allows you to auto-aim without putting it right on, again, replays can be goofy, but if you are using that kind of mod, I would probably stop using it because they're illegal. If you're not using it, I apologize, but I just didn't see you point it out. You may just be a lot better at the auto-aim than I am because I have a lot of trouble with it. Okay, there you go. Nice job. Now, let's talk about it now because you've cleaned some guys up. They made a bit of a mistake. You're now at 3,000. Let's look behind us. We got the T-44 is a 1-shot. We have the T-34-3 who is a 1-shot and the Progetto who is a 1-shot. And you've got the JP and the P-43, and guess what? One guy unaccounted for, the Carnarvon. All right, so he's probably nearby. But you got a lot of 1-shots, and we can make a decision now. Well, do I go get this 44-100? Maybe. I think I come out here and I try to get rid of him real quick. That way, I don't have him behind me. Then I flex to these two guys and get rid of these two guys. But let's see what happens. Because there goes your IS. Your guys are down to 1-shots. Tiger 1 does not get a kill. And we're just very passive right here, right? We're lit by the 44-100 because he's right next to us. Thank goodness, the 34-3. And then I think you see that, and now we're going to come get this guy. Nice job squaring up with the front of the armor. I like that. He can't do a single thing. He does track you, and you take him down. And now it is time to, no kidding, get a bit more aggressive. The 46 is there. You've only got 2 guys left. I'd have gone straight at him. I wouldn't have gone around this way. I'd have gone straight at that P40 or that Progetto 46 because there's just nothing he can do. So what if he gets a 1 hit point off you or 1 hit of your damage off you? It just doesn't matter because now is the time you've got to get rid of guys. All right, fantastic. Tiger 1's down, or sorry, the Progetto's down, and we go this way. There's the Carnarvon. He's finally heard from. He's back there. P43's gone around this way, and that is the guy I would have gone after, just like you're doing. Just head for him. And I'm not really sure why we kind of stop and goof around. I'd have burned my repair kit. I'd have burned my repair kit right there and gone straight after the P43. Looks like you were trying to avoid getting shot again by the Carnarvon, but he already fired. The good news here with him is he's using the little gun. And then just keep trucking, man, because the Carnarvon's coming around. Yeah, he tracks you. That was a good move on his part. You don't have the repair kit. Now we're kind of hurting right here. What you really want to do is if you get repaired is... Well, take that shot if you can. You're actually going to get it. You want to get into here again as fast as possible here. This was a nice job. You track him and you go right up to the turret. Fine. And then, bummer. Really, really got trolled. 325 low roll. The P43 on a few hit points. And we just have a massively hard time right here dealing with this. As soon as your repair kit comes up, get out of there. Looks like there you go. Trying to get out, and oh, and the repair kit's back up. Use it and go. Oh man, now they're tracking you, trying to get you stopped. Use their repair kit. You're not going to use it. The repair kit was up. You just missed that, I think. You just let the standard repairs work. And I think you could have got out of there with the repair kit doing its thing. Good news, like I said, the Caernarvon has the small gun, else you're already done. Surprised the P-43 hasn't come up beside you. He should have come right around the corner and done that. And the Caernarvon just really gets foolish and eats one more shot and down he goes. So here we are. 5,000 damage, 4 kills. Nicely played. We have a one-shot P-43 and an artillery. But if we go back to where I was talking about, had you applied your power earlier, you may have preserved a few more of your guns and your friends' hit points, and you'd be well ahead here. Instead of just you, there might be 2 or 3 of you alive, and potentially the P-43 dead because you had more guns in the game. You gave up a lot of hit points by getting tracked right there as a singleton, and that's what's hard about being a single against 2 guys that have you coming from 2 different directions. And the way you stopped that was earlier in the game by being a little bit more aggressive in a couple situations that I just talked to you about there. So we've got 5,000 damage. We're going to go monkey speed here, because what you do is you jump into a corner and we hang out in the same corner right here, which you obviously know is a good corner. So we're going to sit here and hang out for a bit, move around a little, waiting for the P-43 to get dopey. P-43 knows you're on low hit points. He does eventually show up. There he is. And we get that shot. Get that shot. We hang out for a bit. We've got 4 minutes. Now I've got to go try to find artillery. For a moment when I was watching this the first time, I thought you were just going to sit here and draw the game out. But I knew it was defeat. And I said, well, geez, does the artillery come around the corner and blap him? So this is going to get to part of the message that he sent me, and that's a nice job there. Does anyone know where the enemy already might be? That's a good question. I'd already been moving by now. I don't know why you're waiting so long in here. You need to get towards where he is. The problem with not doing anything is now he can do something like go down south on the east side and show up on near your spawn, or maybe up on your sniper spot, and you may not check that because you figure he's in the back corner. Most already are going to sit in the same spot, but some will move, and he might get clever, and if you wait too long, you're not going to have enough time to travel around the map and find this guy or jump on cap. One option would have been just to drive out and get on the cap, because where he's going to be is more than likely here in a bush waiting to see you, or here in a bush waiting to see you, with the off chance that he actually ran down here and is just hoping to draw. So we're going to sit here for quite a long time and speed this thing up again. And you're just giving up time. Time is a commodity in this game. The problem with waiting that long is it has forced your hand and limited your options as far as where you're going to go. We're going to go all the way through here, down the middle, and I will tell you what, I would have gone straight through the factory here and then moved up behind these and maybe done a couple pokes and see if I got lit and see if I couldn't determine what angle this guy is at. And then I could go one way or the other, but I'd have done it a long time ago so that I'm not forced into a situation where I've got to rage forward and just hope that he doesn't kill me. And then we're going to talk about the last thing here that you said on your message, because it was actually wrong. So we're going to talk about it though. So we get spotted here. More than likely, where he is, because of knowledge of the map, is in these bushes up here. So that was one of the spots I talked about, right here, or over here. Unlikely that he's here and spotted you, right? He's outside a draw, never mind spotting range. So no kidding, has to be in these bushes right here. Absolutely just has to be. And we're going to come up here, and we're going to tuck into this building right here. All right, so let's look at this, look at the angle, and then we're going to watch this. We're going to go ahead and slow it down. And the comment on your message to me was, Ace Tanker, 5,000 damage, Mark of Excellence, 5 kills. Now, there we go, and we get shot by the arty. Look at the angle that it comes in at. All right, see that angle? All right, let's leave the camera right there. Now, this is not to call you out or to get in anyone's chili, but I think it's incredibly important, because what you said is, trolled by hacking arty at the end, shot through a building, and you were absolutely not shot through a building. That did not happen. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this explosion go away, and we're going to take a look at this. See the hole? He hit you directly on the back, pretty much centered right there. See that V between the building and your rear end sticking out right here where this thing hit? And he is right in that bush. He just threaded one straight through here and was able to drop it on you. It's got enough of an arc to come around here. I guarantee you, If you go into a training room, put a tank here, and set your arty over here in this bush, you're going to be able to put it close enough to do 115 splash damage with a GW Panther on somebody who's behind that building. When I saw you pull up against that, I thought, ooh, I think I'd be probably over here a little bit further, just knowing the angles and what's going on right there. It is important to bring that up, not because I'm trying to get on anyone's case about it, but because things like that get perpetuated and they're simply not true. There is no hack that goes through a building. I personally find it stupid that Arty could do that, but it did it based on the mechanics of the game, not based on a hack. That's a whole nother subject, you know, being able to dump a shot over. But as a matter of fact, had there been a direct fire guy in there, he may have had a shot on you through that bush right here anyway, although you're well angled. All right. That was a lot, and I thought this was a good replay to talk about a lot of those kind of basic things about for people who are trying to get better at this game, because there are the nuances beyond just being good at side scraping, being good at initial position, being able to good at fighting that position, managing my reloads, being good at baiting and trading and popping out. That's all really important stuff, but those are the basics. And overlaid on top of that is the meta idea of where I go, when I get damaged, when I need to push, when I need to react, and the time involved to do all that, to include preserving my hit points and my team's hit points. A lot of people at this level will go into pure preservation of their own hit points, because when they were new, they just got raffle stomped constantly and really didn't understand why they lost all their hit points. As they got more careful, they were able to preserve their own hit points, but didn't take much of a care for anyone else's, because you just don't have that capacity at that point skill-wise. But as you start to transition from that 50 to 55% player and start working into the carry kind of player, not the occasional carry, but the quite often carry kind of player, you've got to now start thinking about what's going on around me, how can I affect what's going on around me, and how can I turn it into a positive for my team, obviously without YOLOing out and losing all of your hit points. It's a fine line. It's not easy. The thing that will happen when you start doing that and trying to learn it is you're going to go back to getting waxed a lot. You're going to preserve hit points to mid-game. You're going to go, Guido said, try to affect the game. You're going to press out somewhere and you get obliterated. And you're going to go, well, that sucked. And then you're going to regress a little. You're going to go back to hanging out in the bush, hanging out in the corner, being more careful. But I challenge you to keep trying these moves later on in the game, in the middle to late game, learning how to carry, learning how to work the late game. And this was just a good example of kind of a player who's really starting to get it and needs to start working on that mid to late game carry potential on timing and when to push, when to help his team, all that good stuff. All right, that is enough of that. A lot of yabba yabba. Hey, man, thanks for sending that in. Apologize if I irritated you about the hacking Arty thing, but that really needed to be said, and I thought it was a good example for everybody to take a look at it. The last thing I'll say about that kind of deal with the hacking thing, if you think you've been shot through a building or someone hacked, get your replay out and look at it several times, maybe even get into a training room and look at all the possible angles. And it is more likely that it was an angle or something you didn't know than it was a hack, all right? So while I will say in the back of your mind, or even mine at times, you go, okay, maybe there's a hack out there. I don't know. Is it a hack? Is it just a really good player? Was it really lucky? Was it a bug in the program? I don't know, but more than likely what you're going to find is there was an angle or something there you didn't account for. All right, guys, that's all I got. We will see ya.